Here's the truth. In service-based businesses, you're not selling haircuts, logos, or even architectural drawings, you're selling time. And that's exactly where most profit margins disappear, so let's break this down. I want to share with you how I break down a company's numbers in a real-life example and how I would break this down into kind of a financial investigation. Now, I do this for my clients where I find out where the profits are going and how to fix it. Now, this is the first thing that I do. This is part of my CLEAR method. And the C, this is for clarity, right? This is where I get really clear on the vision and the numbers. If you want to learn more on the overview, you can click here. I have a video specific to that. Now, when I opened my first business, I obsessed about the numbers and I was getting really frustrated. And my mom told me something important that I still use today. She said, the numbers just tell a story of the behavior in your business, and that's it. So when I look through them, I'm looking for patterns and breaks in processes and leakages. And now your time should be spent on 20% strategy, 10% financial, and 70% operations. What I find is most small business owners are in the 95 to 100% in operations, which means they are too heavily in the weeds and not enough time spent up in the strategy. So let's get clear. Now, bookkeepers, remember, record numbers in the past. Their focus is solely compliance. Accountants, they also work in the past and their job is to save you money on taxes. Neither one are business strategists. And so we have to know the difference between advice and opinion. This was a game changer for me. So only take tax advice from an accountant and only take law advice from a lawyer and take business advice from an advisor who has done it before. All right, so when I take on a client, this is exactly what I do to get the clarity. Now, step one. I want you to get out your profit and loss or your expense report from your bookkeeper, or if you do it yourself, we just need a list of those numbers. Step two, we want to split that income into multiple streams. Now, most businesses I do find have multiple streams of revenue, whether that's products online or in store, whether that's service-based versus the products. We want to make sure that we're breaking down those revenue streams. Now, step three, we want to divide these costs into fixed and variable. This gives us a really healthy overview to make better decisions moving forward. And again, more strategic decisions. Step four, we want to add percentages to each line so that you can see their proportions. We need to not get stuck in the weeds, but give us a really clear overshot of how the company is performing by percentages. Step five, we want to focus on the key metrics. Once we kind of get this big overview and we have a good understanding, we want to look at rent, marketing. We want to look at maybe 5% for rent. That could be a little higher or lower. Marketing is usually around 3%, again, higher or lower. Maybe you're in a really high rent neighborhood, but you have a lot of visibility and you need less on marketing, or vice versa. You're getting really cheap rent, so you can spend more on marketing. When we have these benchmarks, we're really able to make better decisions moving forward. The next really important number we look at is for the labor efficiency ratio. The LER is incredibly important, especially in service-based industry, because this tells us how efficiently your team turns labor into profit. And in service industries, that's the heartbeat. That's the everything of the business. So if your LER is off, your margins will be off as well. Once we map out these percentages, you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see the leaks, the redundancies. Maybe you'll look for expired subscriptions, or maybe you realize that some of the roles aren't producing an ROI. Once you spot this, the change has to start at the top. Now, it can be easy to start pushing your team and saying, you need to produce more, you need to do more. But remember, we still want to stay high-level strategic. Now, in the CLEAR method, developing the leadership and executing the processes comes next. Numbers, remember, just give us a story, and they also give us the clarity and expose the symptoms, but the leadership is the key. We'll go deeper than that in another video. You can click here. Now, sometimes it's not that you don't know what's wrong. Often we do know what's wrong. It's just that you've been too tired or too distracted or too burnt out to deal with it. And even leaders need energy and we need new perspectives. Every 7 years or so, I find most owners hit a natural transition. Maybe you're eyeing retirement, maybe you're going through a partnership breakup or a romantic one, or you're ready to expand. It's just all part of the growth and the progress. So be gentle with yourself. So if your business is making money, but you're not keeping it, start here. Pull the profit and losses, run the percentages, and find the leaks in your company. Because the truth is, profit isn't made in the work, it's made in the way you measure it. If you found this helpful, you can reach out, subscribe, or click below for education on real-world business strategies. And remember, business is both art and science. Some formulas are proven, but the magic comes when you trust yourself.